Hey guys, so I'm back with the Versace review for the American Crime Story of Gianni Versace. So let's just jump straight into it because this was actually a really good episode. I enjoyed it. So, the episode starts off May 1997 in Toronto, Canada. You get this woman, she's doing like this perfume thing. You know those, what do you call those things when somebody put it in the comments where they're selling their stuff on a network? She's doing one of them. She's selling perfume, and she's selling her perfume, and the lady's bigging up her perfume and saying how she has the highest perfume sales. Her name is Marilyn Miglin, and that's the name of the perfume. And everybody's like clapping for her, this and that. And the next thing you know, it jumps to her on the phone. She's talking to the voicemail like, Lee, you didn't pick me up from the airport and I'm tired of waiting. So I'm going to just leave and take a cab home. So she goes home and automatically when she opens the door, she feels like eerie. You see her, she just stops at the doorway and she just stares into the house. So she leaves her bags at the step. She walks into the house, goes into the kitchen, and she sees like some old ice cream sitting on a table. And she immediately walked back out the house. She didn't go search the house or nothing. She walks back outside, and some of her neighbors are walking by, and she was like, something's wrong, something's not right. Like, I can't find Lee. So one of the neighbors come in, like, you two wait out here, I'll go look around. He goes look around, come back, couldn't find anything. And then next thing you know, the cops show up. So they said, did anybody check the garage? And everybody's like, no. So the other neighbor, a female, was like, I'll go with you. Goes, they go to the garage. All you hear is somebody screaming. And at this point, Marilyn's sitting at the table with just a blank stare. It's almost like she knew he was dead. And she was just waiting for them to say, we found your husband. He was dead. So they come back, she screams, she comes in and was like, he's dead. And she didn't say anything. She just kept a blank stare on her face, just staring off into space and didn't say anything. So the next thing you know, it flashbacks to 1 week earlier in Chicago at this banquet dinner. We see Lee and we see Marilyn. They're at a dinner. Basically, she's presenting him with an award that he got. And she's saying all these positive things about him, how she loves him, how he's great, she's this, he's that. And right after that, it immediately just jumps to like after the banquet and they go home and she's like, do you remember the color we painted the room? And he was like, oh, baby, that was so long ago. And she was like, it's pink. It was pink. And it was like an awkward silence, and she turned away and went upstairs. So basically, that whole scene, you could tell that their marriage is off and that something's going on, that they're not really happy with each other, and there's a disconnect. You can already see. And that was a test by her asking, do you remember what color we painted the room? And when he said, but that was so long ago, that was something special to her that she would have thought he would have remembered, but he didn't. Next thing you know, Andrew calls Lee, and Lee goes in the room, shuts the door, and he's whispering, talking to him like, I'll be in Chicago, blah, 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 I'm coming to see you. Cool. Lee goes get into bed with his wife, and he grabs her hand. They don't like cuddle each other, nothing. He just grabs her hand, and they fall asleep. So Marilyn's going away. And she's trying to get Lee to come. Lee doesn't want to come. Lee pretending like he don't want to come, but he really don't want to come because Andrew is coming to see him. So he's thinking he's about to have him a fuck session with a man while his wife is away on a business trip. So yeah, that was that. So we get a scene where Andrew pulls up to a parking lot and he like goes to sleep because as y'all know, he's on the run. So we get Lee sitting. Lee goes downstairs in the basement, and it's like this shrine set up to God. He's praying to God. He lights these candles, and he's crying. And he's like, God, I tried. Like, that's all he kept on saying was, I tried so hard. I tried. And the next thing you know, he goes upstairs, and look who comes to the house. Andrew They hug each other and they're talking, and he asks Andrew, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "I'm here for work." Still lying, talk about he here for work. Nigga ain't got no job. So then he goes, "Well, the next time it would be nice if you give me a warning. Thank God I got the house to myself this time. My wife's out of town, but you should give me a warning next time or whatever." So he starts showing him his work. Lee starts showing Andrew like his work. He's working on this building. I guess he's like an architect type guy. He builds buildings and things like that. And he's telling him about it. And out of nowhere, Andrew gets real annoyed and angry. And basically, in a nutshell, he was like, "Fuck your work. I'm not here to talk about work. Like, let's fucking have sex. What I came here for, I'm an escort. Fuck your work, fuck me." And that's it. And that's basically what Andrew was giving. He was not like, he was giving no ma'am, no ham. So Andrew basically starts tying Lee up, like in the other episode with the other dudes, when he was duct taping their face and then gagging them till they can't breathe and then ripping the tape off until they start breathing again. People are into shit like that. That's a rush. You're not gagging me and tying me up and don't. No, that's just too much. So next thing you know, Andrew like soccer punched him real hard, and you see his face start bleeding through the tape that's around his face, and he starts to tell him like, "I'm going to murder you." And at this point, Lee is defenseless. It's nothing he could do because he allowed Andrew to tie him up on some sex shit. So he lets him know like, "I'm going to kill you. When I kill you, I'm going to expose you. They're going to find your body with pornographic stuff all around you. I'm going to dress you in women's underwear. And the world is going to know that you are gay." So you hear the guy like moaning and grunting, like basically like, "No, no, no." But Andrew wasn't having it. So Andrew gets up, picked up a big thing of cement, and like crushed his ribs. When the cops did the investigation, they said every rib in his body was broken. And then on top of that, he went and grabbed a butcher knife and stabbed him. The shit was crazy. So the cops found him just like Andrew said that he was going to leave him, with the stuff all around. So Marilyn knew exactly. So then it jumps to the scene where they're letting Marilyn know how they found her husband. Marilyn knew exactly what was stolen in her house. She was like, "It was a robbery. He stole stuff from me. He stole this. This is missing. This $2,000. This. That bitch knew down to the pair of socks that was missing. She was like, and he stole a pair of silk something. I forgot the name of the designer. Silk designer something socks." And I was like, "Damn, this bitch is really crazy." Like, she literally knew what pair of socks was missing out the house. It was crazy. So they told her about the gay porn, and you see finally we get to see Lee and Marilyn's son. He came home from California, obviously, because his dad is dead. And she's basically in denial about the gay thing. She's like, "It had to be a robbery. He's too naive. This was a robbery." So dummy Andrew leaves the car parked on the street, and they do the tag number, and boom, comes back that that the car was stolen. So the cops basically found a way to track him by using the antenna from the car phone that was inside the car. So next thing you know, Andrew S. pops up in New York. He's in New York. He goes to the Versace store. He's chilling in the Versace store. He's reading the Versace books. He's sitting at the Versace table that they got for sale. Just real obsessed with Versace. He was so obsessed with Versace. It was crazy. So it gets a scene where oh yeah. So you get a scene where where he leaves there, and then we go back to the wife, and they're still trying to explain to her about what's going on with Andrew, but again, she's still in denial. She's throwing in their face like, "Only thing I care about and what I'm concerned about is y'all finding the murderer of my husband." Basically, still passing it off as a robbery, but ignoring the fact that her husband might be gay, or that her husband is gay and was just in a closet. So finally we get a scene where Marilyn's in the room, she's putting on makeup, and one of the neighbors is there, and she's like, I know what people are saying about me. They want to know how I haven't broken down yet, and I just lost my husband. And then out of nowhere, she just broke down and she started expressing how she feel. And people grieve on their own. I do believe people grieve on your own. Just because you don't initially cry when you find out somebody dies, that does not mean you don't care or you don't have feelings. People have their own times in their moments where they grieve. So she finally broke down and she grieved. So basically, the cops was supposed to keep a secret about the tracking on the car, but somehow the information was leaked to the radio station. So the radio station aired the information, and Andrew just so happened to have heard it, and he ripped the antenna and stuff off of the car with the tracking to get rid of it. He pulls into this park to go rob this lady for a brand new car, but as he went to pull a gun out his pocket to rob her, somebody was coming out. And lo and behold, he's obsessed with red cars. Turn around as a dude with a red truck. He follows the dude in the red truck to rob him instead. He gets to the dude's house, follow the dude inside his house, locks the door, and was like, give me the keys. Is there a basement so I could put you in it? He was like, yeah, there is a basement. Takes the dude down to the basement. The dude's like, look, take the car. I won't call the cops or whatever. Please, just leave me alone. Andrew's like, fuck that. Get down on your knees. Turn around. He gets down on his knees. He listens to Andrew because Andrew's pointing a gun. And he was like, sir, can you please just listen to me? I have a son and a grandchild that I want to see again. If you just let me live. And before he can get the sentence out his mouth, he blew the guy's head off and walked out of the guy's house like it was nothing. So next thing you know, we get Marilyn back on the set from the beginning of the episode where she sells her perfume. And she had another moment where she broke down expressing herself to the young lady who she does the show with. She had a little moment and the lady asked her, like, are you okay with going on air? And she said, yes, I'm fine. Like, I can do this. I'm going to do this. And that's basically how it ended. And it was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. And I will talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Chatty Reese. And don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and I will talk to y'all soon.